I don't think losing 2 of 3 to the Cubs is something to hang your head low about. The Cubs are a really, really good team. And if you're not following the rest of the league, they're 18 games over 500. This is a really good baseball team.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. I've been hosting Locked On Yankees for 7 years, aka nearly the entirety of Aaron Boone's tenure. So it's been a fun 7 years here at Locked On Yankees. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, tell everyone about yourself.
Yeah, I really hope dearly and know dearly that you're going to be here far beyond Aaron Boone's tenure as a Yankee manager. It would just make me feel so good. Yeah. I hosted at WFAN for a while, the radio home of the New York Yankees. I've been a fan of them for as long as I've been alive, which is not that long. And I've only seen one championship with my eyes, which is weird coming from a Yankee fan.
Oy. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. And we have a TikTok page. We surpassed 300 followers, which is pretty cool. So you can follow us at LockedOn_Yankees. On today's show, we're looking around the league. We're going to talk about some Yankee stuff that's happening in the minors, mainly Luis Gil making his rehab start, or his first one of a few. He's going to be there for a while. We're going to talk about the Yankees and their tendency to end the first half. And if you're not watching on screen, I did air quotes because this is not really the first half, but they have a tendency to not do well in the series before the All-Star break. And this is dating back to 2021. So we're going to talk about that. But first, talking about the series leading into the All-Star break, in which the Yankees started off great, but kind of ended it on a dud.
If I can give a positive note, one glimmer of hope is the fact that Giancarlo Stanton is starting to heat up. I think it's taking a little bit longer than usual because of the playtime. He's not getting consistent reps. He's not getting consistent playtime. Now, we've seen this before, Stacey, when he goes on IL stints, which as Yankee fans, we're all too used to at this point. He tends to take a little bit of time to get going. He's not an automatic back in and go for a guy. He takes a little bit, but not having consistent reps, I think, is potentially hurting him at the moment. He's one of those guys that needs to play consistently. But other than that, he is starting to heat up. That's really one of the positives. I don't think losing 2 of 3 to the Cubs is something to hang your head low about. The Cubs are a really, really good team. And if you're not following the rest of the league, they're 18 games over 500. This is a really good baseball team. On the other hand, the Cubs should come into the Bronx saying, it's a good series win against the Yankees. They're a really good team. And I don't know if they feel that way coming in right now. That's the issue, is the Yankees should be feared by the Cubs as much as the Yankees fear the Cubs. So this is a very perplexing series is the word that I would give it.
Yeah, the thing about Stanton is it wasn't just an IL stint. He didn't start the season with them.
Well, yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? Like, so he had to go through spring training, I guess, right? And the fact that he's playing basically every other day, occasionally back to back, but not every day.
Not productive for him.
Yeah, the only thing that's a sure thing is he's usually in the cleanup spot. But other than that, you don't know when he's going to play. Just like the lineups change basically every day, and you don't know who's going to lead off, So yeah. I think the fact that he is starting to heat up is a good sign because he's not playing regularly and we never know when he's going to play. So that's a good thing, seeing that happen. And he's looking like himself too, like with his swings, because that was a fear because of the injuries, plural, because both elbows were bothering him. And he's just...
And it's all strength too. The 2 home runs that he had this week were the classic Stanton upper outside part of the plate pitch that he just pushes the other way. That's the best word I could use, right? Is he just smacks the ball to the other side of the field. He's not pulling it. It's not a typical monster shot down the line. He's just, I mean, I guess that's the best word I could use is he smacks the ball to the other side of the field. And because of the short porch, he's able to throw it over the wall. But it's pure, the swing that he has when he's not pulling the ball, Stacey, he's not getting his lower half into it. He's not down on the.
Yeah, he's basically just swinging his
upper body
arm,
strength.
and it almost doesn't even look like he's making a full swing. It's so
Correct.
odd when you see it from the front. It looks like he's just, I can't even describe what it looks like he's doing because he's not, it looks like he's not completely following through. Like maybe he's chopping into a tree or something. It's just, it's
the difference is Aaron Judge's swing, or even the one that I could use actually that's better than Aaron Judge for a swing perspective when it comes to fundamentals is Cody Bellinger. Because Cody Bellinger gets his whole body into it. He's down low at his knees and he's into every swing, creating a ton of power and torque on the ball. Stanton is not that. And I really think that anyone that's actually studies the fundamentals of swinging a baseball bat would never, ever, ever use a Giancarlo Stanton highlight to show you. The reason why Giancarlo Stanton gets away with it is because he is so damn strong that bit of contact with his wrists is able to have him push the ball over the wall. I actually, barring injury, I'll say this. If Stanton takes care of his body the way that he does, I think he can wind up playing and being an effective DH longer than people think. Just because he's not depending on all the parts of his body to play. He's really depending on his upper body strength. And that's his job. Go out there and hit home runs. It's fascinating to watch because again, it's just pure power the way he's putting the ball out. And it's not fundamental. It's not getting your whole body into it. It's not getting your knees in your lower half. But damn, Stacey, he's got crazy, crazy strength. He really does.
Now, you mentioned Bellinger. We have to talk about Friday night because, I mean, it was the best game of the series as Yankee fans to witness what Cody Bellinger did. So he hits 3 home runs in a game, but he nearly hit 4. If it wasn't for a great play in the outfield, he was robbed of his 4th home run, which you could see on his face when the 3rd one went over. He had a smile on his face because he realized that he could have had 4 in a game. It was amazing. And the thing that got overshadowed by that was Rodon pitching 8 innings, going the longest he's gone as a Yankee. It was the longest he's gone since he was with the Giants because he's never pitched this long with the Yankees. 8 strikeouts. He looked great. Boone goes out, doesn't take him out of the game. He basically is like, you want to do this? He's like, yeah, I think I got one more in me. Then you have Aaron Judge, who on the day Superman's released, acting like Superman in the field, just diving all over the place.
Yeah.
It was... that's why I thought Friday night, I thought to myself, oh, maybe this isn't going to be the typical, see, even my cat's getting into this.
Exactly.
The typical pre-All-Star break series where they just kind of, I don't know, not fall into the All-Star break. And I understand, you said the Cubs are good, but it felt like Saturday and Sunday, they just were like, all right, well, these pitchers are better than what we can do on the offensive side. And it was like they gave up. It was so hard to watch.
It felt like Friday's victory was so great for the team that they immediately booked their plane tickets to Punta Cana and called it a first half. I want to circle back to something that you said at the start of recapping Friday's game because it's so valuable. Cody Bellinger. At the start of June, Stacey, he was hitting 235. He's now hitting, before the All-Star break, 282. In almost a month and a half, he's raised his average like 50 points. He's been that good in the last month and a half. He's got 16 homers, 54 RBIs, and 830 OPS. He's on pace for 90 RBIs, 28 homers. If he gives you these numbers, I mean, what an unbelievable year. Cody Bellinger's going to get paid. He's going to get paid big time this offseason. I don't know if it's going to be the Yankees. I hope he doesn't price his way out of the Yankees. But overall, you have to be thrilled with the contribution that you've gotten out of Cody Bellinger. I mean, you've gotten some unbelievable play out of him. Also, the glove in the field, too. He plays anywhere. He doesn't complain. It doesn't affect him where he is in the field. He's an everyday winning baseball player. And you look at the player that he was, Stacey, when he won the Rookie of the Year with the Dodgers, and the player that he was when he won that MVP with the Dodgers. He's a completely revamped baseball player. He had that terrible year with the Dodgers. He clearly took it to heart where he hit like 200. He clearly took it to heart. He got traded by the Dodgers, left there, and completely revamped who he is as a baseball player. He is now an average hitter that has power and is a really good OPS on base guy. Cody Bellinger has become a terrific baseball player. So I want to give him his kudos too. And Carlos Rodon, by the way, this definitely closed off the best half of baseball that he's had as a Yankee by far. This is by far his best season as a Yankee. It's not even close.
Yeah, got his 10th win finally after 2 misses beforehand, and he looked really good. And speaking of Judge, got his 350th officially, even though he really has 352. But we'll discuss that on another day, because if you count the home run in 2017 that they changed to a triple, even though it clearly went over the fence. He should have had 53 home runs in 2017. And then earlier this season in Tampa, when the ball went over the foul pole that wasn't high enough and they couldn't decide if it was a home run, that was a home run. So congrats to him for reaching 350 sooner than anyone in baseball.
And one more guy that I want to note from this weekend, who's been terrific over the last month and a half, and they really hasn't gotten his proper kudos because of the start to the season, Devin Williams. Yes. In the last month and a half, he's been absolutely terrific. I think now he has not given up a run in his last 22 appearances, which is unbelievably impressive for him. I think that's correct. You can find that out for me in the comments and let me know if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. 13 saves, 4.58. So if you look at the ERA and you're kind of wary on how he's been this year, don't do that, because he has been outrageously good over the last month and a half. He deserves his props too, because it was a really, really rocky start coming in with the Yankees, the way it started off. But I mean, Stacey, he's been really, since the Luke Weaver injury, he's been absolutely money. He really has.
Yes. It's good to see him turn his season around. And it's good to see Cody Bellinger turn his season around, because his April was very forgettable. And May, June, and so far halfway through July are not forgettable for Cody Bellinger.
No, I mean, it's been, he's been, again, my only fear is that he's playing himself into more of an AAV than the Yankees are going to be willing to give him. I don't think that's going to be, I think they will pay him because he's going to deserve it. But my fear is that he's going to play his way into an AAV that they're not going to be comfortable giving. Yeah,
well, they're going to have to suck it up, because as you said, he hits the ball. He plays wherever you tell him to play. He has no issues playing anywhere. He doesn't look lost playing anywhere. He can play center. He can play right. He can play left. And he can play first base. So
another note too, we're also kind of in this generation of the 5-tool player being gone. You've got guys that are power guys that are speed guys, but the 5-tool player has kind of been eliminated from the game for the most part. There's a few guys here into the Betts, the Judge, all that kind of stuff, but not everyone is this very select few. Cody Bellinger has become that. He is truly a 5-tool player. He even plays first base too. I mean, he's all over the place on the field. And again, from what he was in his rookie year to what he is now, he's completely revamped himself as a player. It's fun to watch, honestly.
Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You'll get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out the lineups during the season, roster moves, and breaking news so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, we're going to discuss the Yankees' tendency to not do well in the last series before the All-Star break. It's not that big a deal, but there's a pattern. And unfortunately, there are a lot of patterns when it comes to Aaron Boone's Yankees. So we're going to discuss that next.
We've all been there, logging on early and waiting forever for concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. Well, live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. And that's where Gametime comes in. Gametime makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime, and you can save 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. And with Gametime, the price you see is always the price that you're going to pay. There's no hidden fees. And are you worried about what happens if plans change? The Gametime guarantee has your back with cancellation protection and more. I'll be seeing Shinedown next weekend. I'm super excited for that concert. And it's all going to be Gametime for me. On the way to the venue, I can get tickets, the best tickets I want, no stress added. So take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
So every week, every Friday, we have Fan Mail Friday, and you guys ask us questions, and we answer them to the best of our ability. And if you're on YouTube, we have a way for you to do it that's very easy. You go to our channel's page, you click on the post tab, and you will see the latest post where I tell you, leave your Fan Mail Friday question here, and I tell you what the deadline is. Usually it's Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, just to make it easy.
So, Stacey, we've gone over this plenty of times over the last few weeks, specifically over the last year and a half. There are too many trends with Aaron Boone where it links to poor play, poor things that continuously happen and become non-surprises for Yankee fans, including us. And one of them has been going into the All-Star break. And I think it has a lot to do with this country club atmosphere that he's created in the locker room, where they're so ready to get on a vacation before the All-Star break that they kind of forget that they have games remaining. But you dove a little bit deeper into how big of a problem this actually is.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned this to all of you listening and watching. I mentioned it probably 2 weeks ago when we were looking at the schedule and seeing who the Yankees were going to be playing, how this first half, again, in air quotes, because it's not technically the first half, was going to end. And I told you to look out for this series, this specific series, just to see how they did leading into the All-Star break. So in the past 5 seasons, the Yankees have lost the last game before the All-Star break 4 times. Their only win was in 2022. The team was also 64-28 at the All-Star break, so they were doing really well. They beat up on Boston, like double-digit wins in the Saturday game and the Sunday game. So that's the only time. In 2021, the infamous game where they were up on the Astros 7-2 and then lost 8-7 on a walk-off by Jose Altuve. And that was the game where Aaron Judge and Gary Sanchez were having fun in the dugout with the coat on after they were hitting home runs, and then they got embarrassed heading into the All-Star break. In 2023, that's the team that didn't even make the playoffs, but they lost 5 out of their last 8 before the All-Star break, including the Sunday game against the Cubs. Interestingly enough, in 2024, they lost that embarrassing Sunday game to the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore in walk-off fashion in the bottom of the 9th after Ben Rice hit that 3-run home run in the top of the 9th because the Yankees were down 3-2 in that game. They went up 5-3, and you're thinking, okay, this is a great way of going into the All-Star break. And of course, you know, Ben Rice doing his thing. And then Clay Holmes blew the save. That never happened in 2024. And Verdugo screwed up in left field and allowed the winning run to score on a, So
remember that one all too well.
Yeah. This year they had the 2 lifeless games against the Cubs after having, they had a big win on Friday night. You think they'd take that roll into Saturday and Sunday. And it just seemed like they gave up, like, oh, this guy's pitching too well. Okay, we can't really do anything against him. And it's just frustrating to watch. And again, the Cubs are a good team, but every year for the past 5 seasons, this team just looks lifeless going into the All-Star break. And as you said, it looks like their mindset is like, oh, we just have 2 days left and then we can go on a break. Especially the guys who aren't playing in the All-Star game. It's just frustrating to watch this because, again, like the swoon that they go under when they're, whether it's June, whether it's July, whether it's a bad August, this always happens under Aaron Boone's watch. What does it take for this team, for the front office to realize that this is a real problem?
Well, again, it's the country club atmosphere that's been created. It's that simple. There has been this attitude created in the clubhouse where, they all think they're the best team in baseball. They all think they have this confidence and this ego to themselves because they're wearing the pinstripes that they're this feared team around the league. And they go into they beat up on a team on Friday against the Cubs, a really good baseball team that comes in, a first place team in the NL Central that's 18 games over 500, that's playing really well this year. They beat them up 11-0, and they walk in on Saturday with their chest puffed out, quite frankly. That, we've got this. Max Fried's on the mound. That's a serious victory wrapped up before we get the All-Star break. Perfect. Book your plane tickets now. And look what happens. You lose the next 2 games, and now you leave that series, where you didn't get swept like me and you kind of thought it was going to happen, but you still lost 2 out of 3 to Chicago, a team that, again, they should fear you as much as you fear them. So it's, again, I think it has a lot to do with this attitude that's been created in the clubhouse where, again, they stick their chest out thinking that we're the New York Yankees. And maybe the 99 team had a right to do that. And maybe the 2000 team before entering the postseason, that swoon they had in September, maybe that team, not that there's an excuse for that swoon, but maybe they had a little bit of a right to walk into the clubhouse coming off of 3 World Series championships in 4 years, to stick their chest out a little bit, knowing how good they were. And we're heading into the postseason. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. And lo and behold, that team did figure it out. But this team doesn't have that. And quite frankly, no Aaron Boone team has the right to feel that way walking into any bad stretch of play or any positive stretch of play or any stretch of play to begin with. And that's what bothers me, is there's this attitude and this ego that's been created with this team under Aaron Boone that they really haven't earned. They really haven't earned this level of narcissism, I guess, if you want to call it, as a roster, right? They think they're great. They know they're great and everything like that, but they haven't done much over the years to really prove they're as great as they actually think they are. The records are there, sure. The power numbers are there, sure. The division titles are there. Where are if this is a World Series or bust organization, where are the World Series? Because last I checked, there's one pennant in the last 8 years hanging up under this manager. So where is it? This country club, we are the New York Yankees attitude has to go. And this series, to me, Stacey, is an exact example of, and not the series alone, this series, along with the stretch going into the All-Star break, is an exact example of this team feeling like it's a country club atmosphere all the time. Because, who cares? And even if we lose these 2 games, we'll figure it out on the other side with the Yankees. We'll figure it out. And you got a series against the Braves coming in, a team that's going to be looking to start their postseason stretch. A pretty good team with a bad record who's had a lot of injuries. So it's not getting easier for them coming out of the break either, Stacey.
The thing that disappoints me is they played so well against Seattle, right? They have that comeback win on Thursday. And they basically embarrassed Seattle and sent them on their way in that last game. And then Seattle turns around, goes into Detroit, and embarrasses them on Friday night. Yeah. So Seattle's not a bad team, and the Yankees made them look bad. And then the Yankees come in on Friday, they make the Cubs look bad. They win 11-0, and you're thinking, okay, this is a great role for them to be on heading 100%. Into the All-Star break. And then Saturday and Sunday happens, and it's just a pattern, and I just really don't understand why no one ever questions him on this, ever.
It's a great point with Seattle, too, because, again, going into that Detroit series where they went in and just embarrassed Detroit, they swept them. You would think the Yankees would, coming out of that Seattle series, have a lot of confidence in themselves, thinking, oh, we can handle these good teams. We can play with them.
They held Cal Raleigh to 1-11.
Yep.
1 for 11. I mean, the one was a home run, but 1 for 11.
Without their aces, by the way, without Seattle, without the Yankees aces going in that series either, by the way. So, but again, I don't want to say you fully erase it because you don't, and they do tend to have Seattle's number over the last 5 or so years. But Stacey, you almost do erase the confidence that you build in the Seattle series going into the Cubs series and not doing anything. It's you have to keep the play consistent, and it's almost as if, again, the Seattle series ends. Boone tells the team that they're the best team in baseball again, and look how good we are, yada, yada. And then they win the Cub game on Friday, and they reassure themselves, damn, we are good. 3 in a row at that point. We're really good. Look at us. Look how great we're playing. We beat the Cubs. We got 3 going tomorrow, and then look what happens.
It was actually 5 in a row.
There you go.
Point.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Then you lose the game on Saturday. Fried goes out with the blister. You lose the game on Sunday, and now you're heading into the All-Star break on a 2-game losing streak when it could have been on a 7-game winning streak, and you could have really started to, feel a lot of confidence after the really bad month and a half that you just had. So you had an opportunity, and it was kind of blown there.
And on top of that, the Red Sox have now won 10 games in a row. They've passed the Rays because they swept the Rays over the weekend, and now they're right on the Yankees' tail. So it's just they can control their own destiny, and they choose not to at some points. They just
let's hope the Cubs return the favor because they get out of the break. The Cubs are going, the Red Sox are going to Wrigley, and then the Red Sox get the Phillies too, and then the Dodgers. So they have a really tough stretch coming out of the All-Star break. So let's hope the Red Sox kind of cool off starting it. This is a good time as Yankee fans for the Red Sox to get the All-Star break.
Yeah, let's go, NL. Let's get the Red Sox out of here. All right, coming up next, we'll tell you how Luis Gil did in his first rehab start with Somerset. We also have some information about George Lombard Jr. and how he did at the Futures game, and we have news from around the league.
So, guys, not only do we cover your team every day, but we are now also giving you instant episodes after every single game. You can check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman, and it appears right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed, as well as streaming on our YouTube channel. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. Stacey, I always find it a little weird that going into, and we call it All-Star Weekend, even though it happens at the beginning of the week. I don't know why Major League Baseball just does some really weird stuff, and I don't know why the All-Star game and the festivities are not held on a weekend.
They can't lose the gate. They can't lose the gate at the stadiums.
Yeah, and then they sacrifice the All-Star gate because people can't make it because it's just so weird. Regardless, they start the festivities generally prior to the actual game being played, and earlier on Sunday, you had Saturday, I believe, was the Futures game and the Celebrity All-Star game, and then Sunday was the draft. We got a lot of news on that, so why don't you let us know what happened in the Futures game?
So George Lombard Jr. was the representative for the Yankees. He went 1 for 2 with a walk. The one hit was a double. He was also mic'd up, and he cussed a few times.
Attaboy.
Woo! People clutching their pearls because I was going to say grown man, but he's literally 20. Cussed on TV, but he's a baseball player. They all do. Well, you see them all. You can see them mouth things when a pitcher gives up a home run or a guy strikes out, or you hear it. So yeah, 1 for 2 with the double, and he looked. Oh my God, he's so fast. When he hit that ball, he is so fast. I watched him running around the bases. I was like, wow. That's
get excited. He is the untouchable prospect they have. They will, from all accounts, they are not moving him unless a legitimate superstar is offered to them at the deadline. So they believe in him. As we keep saying, he literally just turned 20, so you're not going to see him up with the Yankees yet. He's only at Somerset, which is impressive for a 20-year-old, by the way.
Yeah, very impressive. Speaking of Somerset, Luis Heel made his first rehab appearance, and we said the other day it was 3 innings or 50 pitches, 3 1/3 innings, 50 pitches, right on the nose. Yeah. So 2 hits, 1 run. The 1 run was a home run, 1 walk, 6 Ks. He's going to have a few more rehab appearances before he comes back to the Yankees. So it might not be until early August.
It looks like they're trying to get him to 75 pitches before calling him up to the major league level, and then they're going to build up that 75 to 100 pitch mark at the major league level. The 6 Ks is what makes me feel good about it, Stacey. The fact that he's locating and the velocity's there, that is a really good sign. So, but again, like you said, this is going to take a bit. I think probably look for early August.
Yeah.
Also, in draft news, that was Sunday. Round 1 technically doesn't count as a first round pick, but it is in the first round. 39th pick, the Yankees took a shortstop, Dax Kilby. He's out of Newman High School. So again, high school player. I believe he's 17 years old. So he was born November 17th, 2006. So feel really old right there, Yankee fans. Really old. So yeah, well, you will not see him for a while. Please, we beg you, do not use them taking a shortstop as a reason why you believe that Anthony Volpe is on his way out as a Yankee shortstop.
Right.
This is not basketball. This is not football. Teams are not drafting players to immediately come in and make an impact. You will not see Dax Kilby in a Yankee uniform. The best case scenario, you'll see him in a Yankee uniform in
2030.
Yeah, I was going to say 29, but yeah, okay, 2030 probably better. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up. You will not hear this name probably for another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Stacey, your favorite segment of the week, besides tomorrow when we do Minors Monday. News from around the league. O'Neill Cruz, he was scratched from Saturday's game with a hip flexor issue. They're going to hope that he can participate in the home run derby, but I'm going to be honest with you. It would be pretty malfeasance if he does participate in the home run derby, right?
I don't know. Because they were saying that they hope he will. Like, even his coaches were saying that they hope he will, and that this was just some sort of blip.
Bad job out of the coaches. I don't love the Jazz isn't going to be in it, to be honest with you. To me, if you have any remote ailment whatsoever, I don't think swinging a baseball bat 130% of your strength out for, how many, if he's going to win the whole thing over 100 swings.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's great for your body or your shoulder, and for Jazz in particular. If he comes out of this with an injury, I'm going to be aggravated. Because this seems like a Jazz Chisholm Jr. Decision. I find it hard to believe the Yankee organization advised him to do this.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like this was a Jazz thing. Jazz wanted to do this. Jazz told them he's doing this. And let's hope Jazz doesn't get hurt, because I don't love the idea that he's going to be in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is weird. Let me tell you. Let me tell you this. So the first overall pick in the draft was Eli Willits. He is a Reggie Willett's son. He's a high school player, first overall pick. The Nationals fired their GM Mike Rizzo about a week ago after they've slid off, and no one that's respected had Eli Willits in the top projected 10 picks in the draft, and he went first overall to the Nationals. This is why you don't fire your entire general manager and staff behind him a week before the draft. It was a complete, like,
has that ever happened before?
Like, I don't think so. In the middle,
that sounds odd.
They fired the manager and the GM. Like, we've seen the manager get fired in the middle of the season, but that's one of those things where he's handling everything on the major league level. But the GM has a lot to do with, the draft and trades and free agency and all that stuff, and his staff too. When you fire a GM, you're firing the GM and his staff. You're not just firing him. All these people are losing jobs. So I find it. Don't think that Rizzo was sharing the draft analysis they had done with the first overall pick once he was out of the organization, Stacey.
Right.
This is one of those, I'm gone and my computer files are gone too. So good luck. Taking him at that point is just ridiculous from every account possible. So we'll see how it works out. But the other crazy note from the draft, Stacey, is the amount of young players that are getting drafted now out of high school. It's insane, the scouting that goes on in the league. Ethan Holiday, another one of them. Matt Holiday's other son.
There's another one.
2 kids now that have got in the top 5. Isn't that insane?
I'd be proud
2 kids.
I'd be very proud
it's in the genes. You can't argue it's not in the genes.
Yeah.
He's going to the Rockies too, which is pretty cool, following in his father's footsteps. So him and Jackson Holiday. Now, we probably won't see Ethan for a couple of years, but Jackson Holiday got called up quickly.
Yeah.
So we'll see how quickly it takes Ethan Holiday to get called up. And lastly, a good note, Terry Francona got his 2,000th win as a manager. Really impressive stuff out of him. He's got the Reds playing really well, really good baseball, Stacey. They finished the, first half with air quotes, 4 games over 500. That's pretty good for this Reds team that I don't think people expected a lot out of this year. So it's crazy what it shows fully what a manager can mean for a team. And we have an example daily on what a manager can also mean for a team, just the reversed. So
yeah. There was a last note there about the Red Sox 10-game winning streak, but we already talked about that. But we did not mention that the last time they had a streak this long was 2018, and we all remember what happened in 2018.
So. Oh yeah. Although Glaber almost got it to a game 5.
Yeah.
That last at bat, that's about a couple inches.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yep, just another faithful Yankee playoff loss that we all sat through.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. You get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you're going to see a familiar face.
Yep, every Sunday for the rest of time, probably. I'll be Locked On MLB's Sunday night's game host. So, pretty cool. Looking forward to seeing all you guys there.
So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.